Hello, this is my game Roots, the product of an intensive 48-hour game design challenge called the Global Game Jam 2023. It happens all over the world, and on late Friday night the theme was announced. And as you can see here, we've got a bit of a show reel, and the theme for this year's Global Game Jam was, as you can see in a second, Roots. And that immediately sparked a number of ideas in my head, but the one I stuck with is what you saw in the intro, and this is how I made it.
So every good idea, and bad idea for that matter, starts with good old notebook and pen. So Roots then. So my initial idea is to have a tree. So instantly think of tree roots, and rather like a snake game, I guess, we could have a means to control the root system. Okay, then we can then step it up a gear and just see how long it takes to survive without overlapping your existing roots or your previous roots. That could be game over. And if we put like a boundary around it, it will encourage people to stay away from the edge and force people into the main play area. I think that's a really good idea. A bit like Snake, but the points will be awarded on how long people can survive without touching previous roots or touching the I guess it will be the soil surface and the edge of the play area. We could then take it a step further, couldn't we? We could have like rival trees, I guess. I've just thought of this now. We could have rival trees. So these could be, I guess it could be player 2, or I guess it could be an AI, but we'll have a rival root system. So we could sort of battle it out underground and see who can last the longest. So yeah, looks like we've got a bit of an idea brewing. I like the idea of rival trees and rival root systems, but I think the first thing to do is get the mechanic working, keep it as nice and simple as possible, and we'll get the root control and the root system building under our belts first before we progress any further. So looks like we have the idea, and I think it's a nice simple one, and it's one which I'm looking forward to very much. So let's get building.
So after a bit of toing and froing of ideas, I finally had a working prototype. After playtesting it a few times, it was apparent that you could get trapped in a particular corner and not able to escape. So I've implemented like a wormhole system where you can go down one wormhole and come out the other side. So it can sort of rescue you at times. It's completely random. I don't think it works very well, but it's a nice feature that I've decided to keep in. And after a bit of polish, this is what it sort of looks like. You can see I've also had a go at putting in a random rival root system. So this is all automatic. It's not like a 2-player game, although a 2-player would be really good. So yeah, ran out of time, ran out of patience, so decided to package it all up. And the idea with the Global Game Jam is you get together in groups to collaborate, but due to one thing or another, couldn't make the whole weekend. So my son and I hopped on a train and headed off to Cardiff, where we joined a few others and helped them polish their games before we all submitted and presented. The venue was for this one was the Arcade Vaults in Cardiff. Been here a few times. It's a great little retro games cafe, but upstairs there's a community area, and this was my presentation.
No, 3-0. 3-0, sorry. 3-0, so that's a lot of those. Who's Roots 3-0? There's at the back of the window. Okay. Oh, is there sound? I should put the sound on. There's no sound. Just in case.
Make our own sound.
All right. Did it go full screen? Oh, it's okay. It doesn't.
No, that's all right.
Alright.
I'm Jez, and this is my game Roots. Just something really simple. I like to just make whip up silly little games. And this one's Roots. I just went with the first idea that came into my head. So the idea is you have a root, and it's a bit like Snake. You've just got to survive the longest without overlapping yourself. And then I tried to get an opponent route in, but the AI was just completely random. But I'd like to make it a bit more aggressive. We'll have a play. So it's just a case of navigating. But then I realised you can get in quite a tangle. So random wormholes appear. Well, they will appear. That sort of like act as like teleporters.
Wormholes.
Yeah. So they sort of teleport. So if you're sort of collared or stuck in the middle of some a corner, and hopefully one appears, you can sort of teleport out and continue the game. But yeah, that's not balanced very well. But I'd love to do sound to it, but I just got a bit fed up. It was just a bit. Well, you probably suffer the same problems. But I'd really like to. I'd still keep working on it. I'd like to have people walking along the top, and you can get extra points for doing like a loop of a route above the surface to try and trip them up or something like that. I think that'd be really fun to explore. But yeah, my game Roots.
And the pun police are coming for you for the wormhole.
I was really pleased with the way the game was met. It was a really friendly community up there, and all the ideas were completely different, which is really interesting to see. But yeah, there we go, 48 hours and we had a working game, and we got to travel by train as well, which is always awesome. Anyway, Roots, you can play it from the link in the description. Enjoy.